It is 21 days to Dubai Expo 2020, connecting the minds, creating the future. Welcome to ZTN News Blitz. Let's take a quick look at our top stories. Government workers clash over no work, no pay. Jealous man assaults wife and commits suicide. Songs of David ready to be served. And in sport, who should replace Loga? We will give you more insights. But now, for now, let's take a look at our top stories. Zimbabwe's public workers are headed for a clash over the no work, no pay system announced today. Now, this means workers will now only be paid based on their attendance. Those who skip duty for no reason will not be paid. Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare Minister Professor Paul Mavima speaks.
But this has been government policy for a long period of time. The no work, no pay principle. It has been our policy for a long period of time.
Now, workers insist that they are still incapacitated and cannot afford to report for duty every day. And Zimbabwe Confederation of Public Sector Trade Unions Secretary General David Satsunga speaks.
Decision. I don't know how they will do that and how sustainable it is, and I don't know what they are basing that on. Because I believe that the issues to do with attendance of a disciplinary nature and should just be dealt with in a disciplinary way.
Moving on, the first batch of the 2.5 million COVID-19 vaccine doses has arrived at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport. The vaccine doses are arriving in batches starting from today until Monday. Our correspondent Blessing Manatsi is at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe Airport to give us more. Good afternoon, Blessing.
Today, we have just received 500,000 doses of the Sinopharm, and this is the first of 3 batches that we'll receive this weekend. 500,000 today, another 500,000 tomorrow, and also on Sunday, bringing the total to 1.5 million doses that will be received for Zimbabwe. And this should be able to cater for at least 5% of our population in as far as increasing the numbers of people that get vaccinated is concerned. So Zimbabwe continues to make its progress in its ongoing vaccination campaign. To date, we have 1.79 million that have received their first and second doses. Additionally, we also have 2.81 people that have received their first dose, and this means that more than 31% of the population provisionally has been jabbed either the first or the second dose. And Dr. Mangwiro also highlighting during the reception of the vaccines that it is important for people to go out there and be vaccinated.
Now, movie lovers in Zimbabwe are back in the cinema once again. This is after government eased lockdown restrictions to level 2 from 4 to allow movie houses to open, but only for fully vaccinated patrons. Our correspondent Monashe Mkhahlera, who is also fully vaccinated, is at Kanako Movie Theatre in Harare Central Business District to give us a feel of the mood there. Good afternoon, Monashe.
Good afternoon. Now, lockdown restrictions were eased from level 4 to level 2 on Tuesday. One of the areas that were given reprieve are movie theatres. They were allowed to open, but of course, only for fully vaccinated patrons. Great news for many cinephilia across the country. I am definitely one such person who is very passionate about cinema. So we are at Kanako Movie Theatre in the company of my director of photography, Titaona Chikono, who ironically is passionate about camera work, but not enthused by movies as much. I literally had to drag him to this assignment, but that's a story for another day. So earlier we spoke to some patrons on how they feel to once again be able to sit down before the big screen and enjoy their favorite flick. This is what they had to say.
What can I say? I'm really excited actually. Right now, as you can see me, I just came to actually scout out some of the movies that are available. I'm actually really excited. It was really boring at home. nothing to do. But at least if the cinema's open,
I'm kind of excited. You know, this is the stuff we've been missing for too long, and it seems like life is going back to normal.
As for cinemas, I'm so happy because this lockdown, at home, just sitting at home wasn't nice. At least if I have this exposure to come to the cinema, watching it, whether it's a 2D or 3D, is much more fun than watching on the laptop.
We also spoke with the complex manager, Viknos Charimba, who just brought us up to speed on how business has been performing since they resumed operations.
Obviously, we were definitely affected because we were closed. So obviously there was no business, there was nothing that we were doing. So in terms of revenue, we were really affected. Managed to bring some other initiatives, like now we are doing virtual reality games, which is a new concept that we started after this lockdown. I hope it's going to make our business perform better. Yes, we are having promotions that we are running. Currently, we have a promotion for everyone who was born in September. You can come in and watch a movie for free.
As we speak, there's a movie that is currently in progress, and I guess I'll hang around here a bit more and treat myself. The weekend starts now for some of us. Back to you guys in studio.
And of course, after a good edge of the seat on the movie, a filling, sumptuous meal will be in order. Restaurants too were allowed to open for sit-in patrons, again on one condition, that is that the customers are fully vaccinated. Our correspondent Itai is at Jamtree in Harare, where she's having a late lunch. Itai, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Samantha. Thank you very much. The culture of eating can be traced back to the year 1765, and this culture actually spread throughout as the first restaurant was open in Paris. And of course, people would be eating out, finger-licking good meals, be it breakfast, be it lunch, or be it dinner. However, that was not the case because of COVID-19 in the past months. But the president on Tuesday announced the easing of the lockdown, and now business hours have been extended, and of course intercity travel is allowed. But talking about business hours being extended, I'm joined here by the manager of Jamtree to actually tell us how they have been operating during COVID-19 times. Kim, what are some of the challenges that you have been facing in the past due to COVID-19?
Well, during the lockdown, we were limited to just takeaways, and this has been for the past 2 months. So obviously, being a restaurant like this, Jamtree is more about the ambiance. We were just limited to takeaways, and we noticed our sales dropping. So in terms of business, it was pretty low for a good 2 months. And also for staff, I mean, we normally have a staff of about 70, and we were limited to about 40 coming to work on a rotation basis during that lockdown.
And now that business hours have been extended, how is business so far?
It is slowly picking up. We're happy. We're very grateful for the extended hours. And so we're looking forward to going back to maybe a new normal, but definitely it has seen business going back to some kind of normal and getting better. Yeah.
Now, maybe finally, can you tell us what are some of the COVID-19 practices that you are doing to ensure that the virus doesn't spread?
Well, first of all, we're ensuring that all our sit-in patrons are vaccinated. So upon entry, you are asked for your card. And unfortunately, if you don't have it or if you don't produce it, then we do not allow you to sit in. We're also making sure that all our staff are vaccinated. So it's now, an extra step in the recruitment process. We're just making sure that everyone is protected. So also in addition, if you're coming for a takeaway, we just try to make sure that you are vaccinated. And obviously we're sanitizing people. We've got a lot of watch stations around. Jamtree is quite a big restaurant. So we are encouraging just general hygiene throughout, not just for COVID as well. So I think that's our part, the part that we are playing with this COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Kim. It's back to the studio.
All right, Itai, just before you go, a quick one. How's the general ambience or the mood that is there at Jamtree right now? Are people very comfortable being out and about already?
As you can see behind me, people are really comfortable, and they have produced their vaccination cards, meaning that they are able to do sit-ins. And, you know, people are back in their mood. People are happy because due to COVID-19, they have been restricted in their homes, and I mean, it's a good ending for them.
And we do hope that it stays that way. Now, moving on, Zimbabwe's biggest cotton buyer, the Cotton Company of Zimbabwe, says it has adopted the Pfumvudza in Twasa conservation farming concept as it seeks to improve cotton yields this season. As this follows the successful implementation of the same concept in maize cropping, which saw a significant improvement in yield. Cotco Managing Director Pius Manamike told ZTN that they are targeting at least 520,000 farmers, with each farmer expected to plant 1/4 hectare. In the 2020-2021 summer cropping season, Zimbabwe's cotton deliveries are expected to reach 150,000 metric tons, the best since 2018. Now, at its peak in 2013, the country achieved a national cotton output of 352,000 metric tons, which Cotco aims to surpass this year.
When we look at cotton farmers, we are saying there's nothing like an exclusive cotton farmer, but cotton farmers also do maize for their food security and other food crops. So these farmers, as we engage them, they are farmers that have done Pfumvudza before, and it's going to be an easy task this time around to engage them and ensure that they provide that aspect. So initially, the main thrust or the cost that we're going to be incurring as Cotco is the cost of training. We need to have every farmer trained by Cotco staff and the Agtex officials. We are working with Cotco jointly to ensure that every farmer gets the adequate training that they require on Pfumvudza cotton.
Now, the U.S. President Joe Biden has imposed stringent new vaccine rules on federal workers, large employers, and healthcare staff in a sweeping attempt to contain the latest surge of COVID-19. At the center of Biden's new plan is a directive that requires all businesses with 100 or more employees to ensure their workers are either vaccinated or tested once a week. Companies could face thousands of dollars in fines per employee if they don't comply.
Measures, these are going to take time to have full impact. But if we implement them, I believe, and the scientists indicate, that the months ahead we can reduce the number of unvaccinated Americans, decrease hospitalizations and deaths.
Now, in the world of sport, ZIFA President Hilton Kamambo has convened an urgent board meeting to decide the future of Warriors coaches Zdravko Logarusic. Benjani Marwari and Lloyd Chitembwe are favorites to take over as Warriors coaches. Now, this comes after Loga's poor record in the 14 matches that he has been in charge of. Now, who do you think could take over when need arises? Share your thoughts on our social media platforms. And of course, don't forget to stay connected with us on Twitter, ZTN News, our Instagram at ZTN, and of course our website, ztn.co.zw. World in 5 is coming up next. Do stay tuned.